I'm out here at the ranch in the travel van, and Michaela loves these horses. She's into these horses, and so I bring her out here and let her take these horse lessons. But of course, I'm bored as can be, so I was reading some employment law updates, but that got boring too. So I decided to do a little video here on failure, because I have been reached out to this week, and it seems like an inordinate number of people have succeeded, and an inordinate number of people have failed. And they write me about, a lot of people do, about what you do when you fail, or really to understand why you fail. And that's what I wanted to do a video on. People, I'm confronted with the fact every day, not only with this channel and with coaching and with my own businesses, but in my run-ins with people in general, people don't understand themselves. And this ends up being a problem. And it ends up being a problem because if you don't understand yourself, you're doomed to repeat the situations that you create for yourself. So here's the scoop. And I think this summarizes why people fail. You fail because you don't have enough willpower, because you don't have a goal, because you don't have enough anger. Let me say that again. You fail because you don't have enough willpower, because you don't have a clear goal, because you don't have enough anger. You have to have a certain amount of anger to succeed with any life change. When people say, well, I was hungry, I broke down and I ate, and it wasn't time to eat. I knew I had 4 hours left or 6 hours left until the meal, but I broke down. The fact that you let yourself shift in your brain from knowing your goal to not knowing your goal to willfully forgetting your goal as it is means that you weren't angry enough. You weren't determined enough to succeed, which means you need to go back to your goal and assess why you want to lose weight, assuming that's it, assuming it's not for mental clarity or something else. So you need to recollect, and you need to say, why do I want to lose 20 pounds or 100 pounds? Or, of course, if it's 150 or 100 pounds or something to that nature, you know why you want. You know you have to change your life. You failed because you're not angry enough, in essence. Because when you set a goal, you don't say, come hell or high water, that's the way it's going to be. Look at this channel. Look at the way I've directed it. I don't take advice very often because I find that it's not for me, or I'm just too damn stubborn. This is a case with me. I am angry and I am stubborn. Sometimes you pick up on that, and some people say things in the comments. So I could have grown this channel to 100,000 subscribers by now, but I won't give on certain things, and I won't do certain things, and I'm stubborn. So that makes it difficult for... It's difficult for me. And when I get new information, I naturally resist it because I'm skeptical. So when someone does something cheery, I get suspicious of it. I'm that type of communicator. But the 4 types of communication are this: mad, glad, sad, and scared. Mads are the Captain Kirks of the world. They're the results-oriented, let's get it done. The Donald Trumps, the Bill O'Reillys, and me. Mad communicators. Direct, no-nonsense, results-oriented, goal-oriented people. The second are the glads. These are the bonders. These are the relationship builders. These are the Bill Clintons of the world. These are the Dr. McCoys. And then there's the sads. These are the people who are high intuitive and very introspective. They're very self-aware. They're very socially intelligent generally, but they're their own victims. These are the people that don't like a direct role. They are the ralliers. They're the supporters. They're the left-wing hippies. They're their own victims. They're the most depressed out of all of them. And then there's the scareds. There's the Mr. Spocks. Scotty's a sad, by the way. There's the Mr. Spocks. There's the scareds. These are the analyticals. These are the people who your IT people at work whom you pass by in the hallway and you say, "How you doing?" and they don't respond sometimes, because it's not because they don't like you. It's because they're just in their own head. They're just doing their own things. Now, the last 2 of these categories are indirect communicators, the sads and scareds. The mads and glads are the directs. The difference between MADs and GLADs are that the MADs they see vulnerability as a weakness. They're looking to exploit and to take. The bonders are looking to give, and they see vulnerability as a strength. That they don't see it as a weakness like the MAD communicators do. So they're both direct, but one less so than the other. Further, the GLAD communicators are more prone to fail because they don't have support, whereas a MAD doesn't need it. Me, I don't need it. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you think at all. I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care if you don't like the channel. On the Jason Fung video, people said, well, I'm unsubscribing. Okay, go right ahead. Suit yourself. If I'm not offering value, go right ahead. That's an anger emotion there. That's the MAD reaction. So MAD, GLAD, SAD, and scared. When it comes back to your own failures, you have to look at you and your ability to set goals. If you cannot set a clear, concise goal for why you need to lose weight and stick with it, then you're lacking motivation, and that motivation means you're not at peace with something. Don't try to do two goals at once. Don't do this BS where you try to say, well, I need to get rock hard abs and I need to lose 100 pounds. Do one before the other. Your first goal is to drop your weight. You can tone up later. You can start working on bench press if that's what you want to do later. You really don't need to exercise unless you have a goal. Unless you want to play sports or do something. You really don't need that. Just occasional exercise and movement and normal levels of activity is enough for you. So, which communication style are you? Put in the comments which communication style are you? MAD, GLAD, SAD, or scared? Sometimes you might be a mix. We all have those emotions in different quantities, but one is usually dominant and one other sometimes is usually fighting for dominance, but is submissive behind the other. For instance, it's possible to be a MAD scared, an analytical person who's also but predominantly outspoken. You can also be a MAD sad or GLAD sad. Different combinations. Where do you fall on the scale, and what do you think of that? That comes from a book, by the way, by Steve Sisler, the communicator types and what drives them. So people are different, and if you know yourself, you'll know where you stand. Me, I know that I'm angry enough and stubborn enough, and that's why I've been successful with OMAD, and perhaps you have not. Because you need support, you need validation, you need information. The MADs need results. The GLADs need the interaction. The SADs need validation, and the scareds need information. So, and there's nothing wrong, by the way, with one or the other. You are the communication type that you are. That's all there is to it. So, but if you accept that, you can tailor around that. So if you don't have enough anger, you can say, well, I need to put myself in supportive situations. If you need bonding, you need to make sure you're always getting that support. And that's why it's difficult. It's much more difficult for people who are not MAD communicators to get that support. So that's the advantage. And that's why the people that I talk to and have worked with and the people that are in the forums who have been successful are people who they can set a goal and keep with it. Now, some of them fail, just like a lot of people fail sometimes. But if you do, just pick yourself up and keep going. Pick yourself up like nothing happened and keep going. I've said that before. I have said that before. So honestly, you do not need to worry. You just need to know yourself. You need to have a little bit of anger because life change, again, gets back to anger. Your raw anger score, if you decide you want to do consulting with me, you want to do my coaching program, I have a program where I'll be able to tell you more about your communication style. We'll get on Skype. It'll be about 90 minutes, and I'll go over where your strengths are and where your weaknesses is. A guy whom I was talking to from the business world the other day, he said, I've been cold calling people, but I'm no good at it. What's the matter? Do I suck as a realtor? He's just getting into realty. And I said, no, the reason, he's a SAD. And so I said, the reason you're not having any luck with cold calling people for your new business is because you find value in relationships with people because you're seeking that mutual exchange. That's why it bothers you to bother people at home and call them and say, hey, can I have a moment of your time, yada, yada. He's not the type. He's not the type because it's not who he is. He's bothered by the fact that he called someone and someone said, don't call here again. Take me off your list. I don't want to be bothered. That bothers him. It doesn't bother someone like myself. So that's the difference. That's why people in sales are pretty cutthroat. They can move on. They can lose and move on. Lose, 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 win. I won. Lose, lose, win. I won again. And then they keep counting the hits and not the misses. So they keep going. So anyway, if you decide you do want to do my consulting program, all you have to do is reach out to me, and I'll ask you 20 some odd questions. I have a new shorter questionnaire for those of you who have had the old one. It's much shorter, and I can tell you about yourself, because hiring, firing, running businesses, it's what I do. But if you don't want to do that, just sit home tonight after watching this and say, what the hell is my problem? Why am I not lining up my ducks correctly? It's because your goal is not clear. Your willpower is not there because your goal is not clear, because you're not angry enough. You need to know yourself. And here's the thing, folks. I talk with people. I know just the 30 seconds of talking to them where they're going to be in 15 years, because they're not angry enough to make changes. I can see a lady and then see her again 15 years later after I've talked to her, and she'll probably, short of a few more gray hairs, she'll be exactly the same place, in the same job, the same title, if she's even working, or he, whatever, and say, I could tell you this person's not going to change because they're not angry enough. So let's get raw. Let's get angry, and let's decide on your goals. Double down on your goals. Set one at a time, and then expand from there. Okay, enough for today. Okay, I'm not done just yet. You watched this far. I won't be talking too much more on this channel about communication styles very often, because a lot of people don't connect with it. If you are one of those who want to learn how to get ahead in your business and manage, be a leader, and so forth, go to my new channel, HR Whiplash. I'm going to link to it, of course. HR Whiplash, I go over all the boring stuff like HR and hiring and firing and federal laws, but I also go into the much more interesting stuff like leadership and morale, team building, the psychology of management, behavior, human and social engineering, and all that fun stuff. So if this sort of thing, my talk today about communication styles, pushes you along, and you think that it would help you in the rest of your life that doesn't involve eating, then go to the new channel, HR Whiplash, subscribe, and we'll have fun all over again in a different way. Okay, now I am done. Thanks for watching.